From the outside, the 180SX Type X looks simple. But wait, before we proceed, please like and subscribe the video, thank you. Until you realize it's the kind of simple that says I'm faster than you, but I don't need to shout about it. Pop-up headlights, absolutely. Because nothing says 90s Japanese engineering like headlights that wink at you before destroying your rear tires. The Type X kit gives you a more aggressive front bumper, side skirts, rear spats, and a wing that's not trying to be a Boeing 747. It's tasteful, which in car terms means perfectly legal until you add stickers and a body kit at 2 a.m. It's a hatchback, but don't call it practical. This is the only hatch in history where the cargo area is mostly reserved for spare tires, jack stands, and emotional support tools. Under the hood is the legendary SR20 DET, a 2.0-liter turbocharged inline-4 that makes around 205 horsepower from the factory. Now, 205 horsepower doesn't sound insane in 2026, when family SUVs make 400. But remember, this car weighs about as much as a bag of groceries and a gym membership. The power-to-weight ratio is chef's kiss. The turbo spools fast, the engine revs happily, and it sounds like a vacuum cleaner that learned martial arts. Stock, it's quick. Modified, it becomes terrifying. This engine is so tune-friendly that Nissan basically said, here, we'll sell you a project car pre-assembled. People have pushed these to 300, 400, 500 horsepower, like it's a weekend hobby. The SR20 DET is the Toyota 2JZ's smaller, rear cousin, who drinks energy drinks, and never sleeps. Let's be honest, the 180SX Type X wasn't built for lap records, it was built for controlled chaos. Rear-wheel drive, near-perfect balance, short wheelbase, limited slick differential. This thing wants to drift. It dreams about drifting. It wakes up drifting. Turn the wheel, tap the throttle, and suddenly you're a professional. Until you hit a curb and realize why drift cars usually look a little used. The steering is raw, the suspension is firm but not punishing, and there's just enough feedback to make you feel like a hero, even when you're only doing 40 miles per hour in a parking lot. This car doesn't fight you, it encourages bad decisions. Inside, it's pure 90s Japan. Black interior, bucket seats, simple gauges, no giant touchscreen, no driving modes, no voice assistant named Siri, judging your life choices. The Type X gets better seats, a leather-wrapped wheel and a boost gauge, because Nissan new owners would stare at that needle, more than the speedometer. The materials are, let's say, authentically plastic. But everything works, everything is angled toward the driver, and nothing distracts you from the real mission, pretending you're in an Initial D episode. Rear seats exist, technically. They're perfect for backpacks, jackets, or that one friend you don't like enough to give legroom. This is where the 180SX Type X becomes legendary. No traction control, no stability control, no electronic babysitters. It's just you, a turbo, 3 pedals, and consequences. Throttle response is sharp. Turbo lag is charming instead of annoying, and the car feels alive in a way modern cars sometimes forget. You don't drive this car, you negotiate with it. Every corner feels like an event, every gear change feels earned, and when the boost hits mid-corner, your brain goes, this was a bad idea, while your heart goes, do it again. Now, let's talk reality. Most 180SX Type X cars today have lived very exciting lives. Drifting, racing, street battles, questionable wiring, turbo swaps done at 3 a.m. by a guy named Kenji, who swore it would be fine. A clean stock Type X is rarer than a polite comment section. The SR20 DET is strong, but these cars are now almost 30 years old. Expect rust in creative places, vacuum lines that went on vacation, electronics that sometimes work out of pure nostalgia. Parts availability is still good, thanks to massive aftermarket support. But prices? Oh boy. What used to be a cheap drift missile is now a collector car. Clean examples cost serious money, and modified ones cost even more once you factor in therapy. The 180SX Type X isn't just a car, it's a symbol. This thing helped define drifting worldwide. It's everywhere in Japanese drift competitions, Initial D, Fast and Furious era builds, YouTube sideways compilations. When people think JDM drift car, this is one of the first shapes that appears in their brain. It's the car that taught a generation how to counter-steer, and how to explain crash damage to their parents. The 1996 Nissan 180SX Type X S13 is fast enough to be exciting, Balanced enough to be addictive, simple enough to be pure, and legendary enough to be expensive. It's not the most comfortable, it's not the safest, it's definitely not the most fuel efficient, but it might be one of the most fun cars Nissan ever built. This is a car for people who love driving more than screens, who prefer turbo noises over Bluetooth, and who believe the best traction control is don't mess up. In short, the 180SX Type X is not just a car, it's a lifestyle choice, a drifting diploma, and a very convincing argument against curbs. If you ever get the chance to drive one, take it. Just maybe, bring spare tires. Pros, aka, why it makes you go, PXF. Classic JDM coolness. This car is exactly the kind of thing that'll get petrol heads at your local Cars and Coffee whispering, is that real? Its pop-up headlights, fastback hatch shape, and JDM pedigree scream classic 90s cool, like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, but with wheels. Punchy turbo power, SR20 DET. The Type X comes with Nissan's beloved SR20 DET turbo engine. Turbocharged excitement that's funny fast, relative to its age and weight. It's not a modern supercar, but you'll embarrass some kids at the lights. Just don't tell them you had traction control off. Legit drift machine. If drifting is your thing or you just like sideways slides in parking lots, the lightweight RWD chassis is obedient and predictable, and a favorite for tuners because you can boost it to silly power levels without selling your house. Massive aftermarket and culture. Parts are everywhere if you know where to look, especially in enthusiast circles, and there's a huge global community. Mods, swaps, cool wheels. This thing is the Lego set of classic JDM cars. Cheaper entry toys sort of. Compared to a well-kept E30 M3 or 300ZX of the same era, the 180SX can still be a relatively affordable way into fun rear-wheel drive nostalgia, if you find a clean one. Cons, aka, why your wallet will cry. Old equals high maintenance. It's over 25 years old. Unless you find a time capsule, expect worn suspension bits, leaky seals, and little electrical gremlins. These cars are collectible because they're old. Rust happens. Rust is like a clingy ex, it shows up uninvited. Frame rails, door jambs, floors, check carefully or your dream car becomes rust rocket. Parts can be a hunt. Sure, there's aftermarket support, but OEM parts sometimes need to be imported because Nissan didn't sell these everywhere. So expect packages from Japan taking forever, and costing more than that mystery eBay strut you ordered. Old interiors, no modern comfort. Cruise control, AC, ABS, maybe. Bluetooth, nope. Heated seats, only if you taped a hand warmer to the upholstery. It's a time machine with all the comforts of 1996. Insurance and import fun. In the US you often have to wait for the 25-year import rule before getting one legal, and insurers may treat it like a track toy, needing higher premiums. It's fun until your agent frowns at your teenager drifting the driveway. Not for beginners. Reddit consensus, if you're new to cars, this is not your first project. Someone will recommend you buy a reliable daily first.